Okinawa Island with sustained winds of 257 kilometers per hour. According to Japan Meteorological Agency, the storm will further move northward to approach the island over the weekend. Typhoon Hinnamnor is the 11th tropical storm of 2020.
Hello all, welcome to my channel. The topic we are going to discuss today is about Hinnamnor super typhoon. So mainly we will be dealing with the topic of tropical cyclones. Let us now see what is the current issue that is there in the news. Super typhoon Hinnamnor is now charging towards the island of Japan, packing winds of up to 150 miles per hour. This is the strongest tropical cyclone so far this year, according to weather.com. The storm in the East China Sea is a Category 5 hurricane. So, recently, super typhoon named Hinnamnor is now charging towards Japan, and it has a speed of 241 km per hour. And it is also the strongest tropical cyclone of the year 2022. It is also a Category 5 hurricane. Category 5 hurricane is a category of hurricane which is most dangerous, and the wind speed is also really high. Now let us see more about Hinnamnor typhoon. This typhoon is Northern Hemisphere's strongest typhoon in the year 2022, and it started in Japan and is now moving slowly towards Korean Peninsula, and it is also a Category 5 hurricane. Now let us see what is a cyclone. Cyclones are rapid inward air circulation around a low pressure area. The air circulates in an anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and a clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. So, cyclones are basically the circulation of air around a low pressure area. So, in the middle part of the cyclone is a low pressure area and the surrounding is a high pressure area. And in the northern hemisphere, the circulation of air is in the anti-clockwise direction, and in the southern hemisphere, it is in the clockwise direction. Cyclones are usually accompanied by violent storms and bad weather. So when cyclone happens, the weather will be very bad, so mostly rainy, and the violent storms may also happen. The word cyclone is derived from the Greek word cyclos, meaning coils of snake. It was coined by Henry Peddington because the tropical storms in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea appear like coiled serpents in the sea. The name cyclone is derived from the Greek word cyclos. Cyclos means coils of snake. So, from an aerial view, the cyclones in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal appears like the coils of a serpent that is in the sea. So, hence the name was given to it. And the cyclone has various local names. In the Australian region, tropical cyclones are called willy willies. And when it comes to China, Japan, Korean areas, these cyclones are called typhoons. And in the Indian Ocean, the cyclones are called tropical cyclones or just cyclones. And when it comes to US and Canada, North American region and South American region, cyclones are called hurricanes. These are all the same phenomenon, but they have different names. That's it. Now let us see the factors of cyclone formation. Tropical cyclones originate and intensify over warm tropical oceans. So tropical cyclones mainly originate and they intensify over warm tropical oceans. The conditions favorable for the formation and intensification of tropical storms are large sea surface with temperature higher than 27 degrees Celsius. So there should be a large surface of sea and the temperature of the sea should be higher than 27 degrees Celsius. There should be presence of Coriolis force. There should be adequate amount of Coriolis force. Small variations in the vertical wind speed. So there is also a need for a small variation in the vertical wind speed. A pre-existing weak low pressure area or low level cyclonic circulation, and so there should be a low pressure area in the region for the storms or the cyclone to intensify. Upper divergence above the sea level system. There should also be a upper divergence above the sea level system. Coriolis force. Let us also discuss about Coriolis force. Coriolis force is basically a force due to the rotation of the earth. Coriolis force is an invisible force that deflects the wind. In the northern hemisphere, the wind is deflected towards the right, and in the southern hemisphere, the deflection is towards the left. This phenomenon is also called Coriolis effect. So now let us see how tropical cyclones are formed with the help of this diagram. At first, on the surface of the sea, due to the temperature, the water gets evaporated and it moves up as vapors. It moves upwards as water vapor, and now there is a low pressure in this region, and gradually this wind always moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. So in this low pressure area, wind is moving from the high pressure region. So this wind will be circulating around this low pressure area. Gradually this air column will further intensify and turn into a tropical cyclone. This is how it is formed. Now let us see what are the various categories of cyclone. Cyclones are divided into various categories starting from category 1 to category 5. Category 1 is the type of cyclone which causes minimal damage. Category 2 causes a bit more damage when compared to category 1, and category 5 it is the type of cyclones which causes the most damage. That amount of damage increases from category 1 to category 5. Now let us see the type of cyclones. There are mainly two types of cyclones: tropical cyclones and extratropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones develop in the region between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So in this figure we can see Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Tropical cyclone develops in this region. Extratropical cyclones occurs in temperate zones and high latitude regions, though they are known to originate in polar regions. So when it comes to extratropical cyclones, they originate in this region and in the below this region, that is above the Tropic of Cancer and below the Tropic of Capricorn. The extratropical cyclones are also called temperate cyclones, middle latitude cyclones, or frontal cyclones, or wave cyclones. All these are different names of extratropical cyclones. Now let us also see the concept of anticyclone. An anticyclone is the opposite of a cyclone. That is, it has an outward spiraling air circulation around a high pressure center. So, as we discussed already, when it comes to a cyclone, the center is low pressure. But when it comes to an anticyclone, the center region is high pressure area. An anticyclone's wind rotates clockwise direction in northern hemisphere around a center of high pressure. So, in the northern hemisphere, an anticyclone rotates in clockwise direction. But in the case of cyclone, the rotation is in anti-clockwise direction. So they are basically opposites. That is why it is called anticyclones. In anticyclone, air comes in from above and sinks to the ground. High pressure centers generally have fair weathers. So the weather associated with an anticyclone is generally good when compared to a cyclone. Now let us see what are the effects of cyclone. Tropical cyclone causes heavy rainfall and landslides. One of the major effects is it causes heavy rainfall, and landslides are also associated with it. They cause a lot of harm to towns and villages, so the daily life will be disturbed, causing severe damage to kacha houses. Kacha houses means poorly built house or houses made of straw and other loose materials. So it causes severe damage to kacha houses. Coastal businesses like shipyards and oil wells are destroyed. So it causes destruction of coastal businesses like shipyards, oil wells, etc. It also interrupts the mining activities. They harm the ecosystem of the surrounding region. So when a cyclone happens, the habitat of many organisms get destroyed. So the ecosystem there will be disturbed. The civic facilities are disturbed. So the day-to-day activities will also get disturbed due to a cyclone. Agricultural land is severely affected, especially in terms of water supply, soil erosion. So the intense rainfall causes soil erosion and the agricultural crops might get destroyed also. It causes harm to human, plant and animal life. So it causes so much death of people, plants and animals and vast destruction of crops also. Communication systems are badly affected due to cyclones. So it will also affect the communication systems. And plus government has to spend a lot of money to rehabilitation programs due to cyclones. That will also affect the economy of our country. These are the major effects of a cyclone. Now let us look at the Indian scenario of cyclones. Let us see the examples of some of the major cyclones that has occurred in India over the year. The Bola cyclone of 1970, Odisha cyclone of 1999, cyclone Fani that has happened in 2019 and the cyclone Amphan of 2020. India witnesses cyclone in the North Indian Ocean cyclone season usually between April and November. So India mainly witnesses cyclone in the north of the Indian Ocean and the cyclone usually happens in India between April and November. The Indian coastline length is around 7516 km, that is approximately 7500 km, and it is noted that 5770 km of the coastline is vulnerable to natural hazards including cyclones. Of the 7500 km coastline of India, about 5800 km of coastline is vulnerable to cyclones and other natural hazards. The east coast of India is more prone to cyclones when compared to the western coast. So, as we have seen the trend over the years, the eastern coast of the India, suppose this is India and this is the eastern coast, this region is more vulnerable to cyclone because the Bay of Bengal is little bit more hot when compared to the Arabian Sea that is in the west. This is one of the major reasons. With this we are ending our lecture. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.